David Schultz here. We're at the Xavier Street house. It's a project we finished, an ADU we finished a few months ago. And we're just gonna kind of walk you through, point out some of the details, some of the things that are kind of standard that we do on a lot of projects from a quality standpoint and a quality control standpoint. And then also show you some of the more unique features of this particular ADU. We do this finish quite a bit, where we try to save some money by actually drywall wrapping the windows instead of putting wood casing all the way around. And it is kind of a modern, contemporary, clean look, and then just adding a little bit of detail at the bottom with a wood sill. This rail is kind of interesting. So originally this was a bit of a taller wall, and there was supposed to be a bench seat out here, but a little snafu with the design, and it just didn't really work with the head height. So they still wanted to be able to kind of see through these windows. So this was something that wasn't originally planned, but we just kind of came up with this idea. One of the next things I really like is, and I think it's kind of trending, it's kind of one of the new things you see. You're still seeing a lot of gray walls and some color on the walls, and the white trim, that's still very popular. But we're starting to see migrate back towards lighter floors, which actually wear a bit better. And I actually like it, especially in these small spaces. It kind of opens up the space a bit more. And so I've actually been pushing more people into the lighter feel. And I think like this floor, I think is one of the coolest floors that we've done. It's just a really standard 3 1/4 white oak with number two grade, so you get some more of the coloring and that type of thing. But in pictures, in some ways, it almost looks like hickory. So it's kind of an interesting floor. So these are a pretty standard package of what we use here. They're a Mitsubishi mini split wall unit. And this thing is running right now, and it's really quiet, and they're really efficient, and people love them because you can keep the heating and cooling within a couple of degrees. These just basically hang out all day, whereas a traditional furnace, you tend to see bigger spikes up and down in the heating and cooling, and these will just barely cycle on and off and just keep you nice and cool. We got big windows here, so there's a good amount of solar gain in this place, and there will be a good amount of heating that needs because of the glass in the winter. So we've been really happy with the Mitsubishi, and we've actually moved into exclusively using these if the client will allow us. So this, we just put a barn door in. It was something that Elizabeth really wanted. They pretty standard, standard track, and we've kind of seen the ebb and flow of barn doors. It was all barn doors all the time, like a couple years ago, and then it kind of faded away over the last year, and then now it's more like, hey, we're not going to put barn doors everywhere, but something cool like this to kind of break up not the monotony, but just the kind of all the white doors and white trim. I think was a really good touch to add a bit of kind of darker color to this space. And the reality is, in most of these units, is that this door is going to be open most of the time, so it's really convenient to just kind of leave it open, and you get kind of a nice look. So this kitchen here is just a pretty basic IKEA, really clean lines, small. IKEA stuff is really great for small spaces especially. So we use a lot of IKEA, and the boxes themselves are not the best, but once you get them in place, I think that they're more than adequate, especially for what we're trying to do here with sleek design and all that. And their fronts and all that, I think, actually hold up pretty well as any of the other stuff that's comparably priced. So same thing, we used an IKEA here, just something that's sleek and slim and not too chunky. Obviously the space in here is relatively tight, as it is with most of the ADU stuff. So picking the sleek, more European design stuff tends to work the best. And then they used this kind of vertical tile, which I think kind of helps elongate this space. And then they actually used a really sleek shower pan here to just make it feel a bit bigger, and you have a little more standing space. So as with a lot of the ADUs, again, this space is relatively small, but they have a king bed in here. So a lot of it is about how do you orient this. When we went back to the door, you know, we put that barn door on, so we got a little more, it feels a little bigger here. Still got a nice big closet. And again, I think what you choose for furniture really makes a big effect on how this room feels. Yeah, so thanks for following us on this tour. We just wanted to highlight some of the details kind of up close and just show you that you can really fit a fully functioning unit in this space. And this is 650 square feet. And I live in a house that's you know, a little bit bigger than this, but feels much smaller. So the correct design and keeping everything open and minimizing hallways and maximizing you know, the space with certain little tricks that we kind of walk through, I think really helps these units to feel and ultimately live better and bigger.